in your real car and you're on the highway, I know you're not out bumping and drafting or trying to like yell at the guy or whatnot, or
that we know of anyway.
No, well, at least we hope not. But
I'm a big believer in safety belts now. I never was, but after you get into a good hit in a race car, and then when you can get out of the car and still move your fingers and toes, you realize how important a safety belt is. So if I picked up on anything, it's the safety belts. Huge.
That is true. I mean, it definitely does give you a new perspective on, you know, being safe and cautious when you're actually driving your real vehicle as opposed to, like, the race car. Now, different types of race cars that there are. I mean, when you start in the open wheel, would you have to have experience having driven a race car before, or could you pretty much just jump into this one?
We've had some guys start out in this, and they get a week or two, and they're a hazard. But after that, I mean, we had a young fella, Halpin. Stephen Halpin. He did extremely well last year. Yeah, he's going to be a good driver. But he comes from good stock. He comes from racing stock.
His dad's a good mostly maritime drivers? Like, they're all pretty much local guys? Like,
definitely.
A lot of New Brunswickers in this, definitely. Now, you can start out in the open wheels, but a lot of people say it's better to start out in the street stock, where you just kick the windows out of the old family beater and go, right? I mean, what would you recommend if someone really wanted to get into racing? Would you say you should start with street stock, start with enduro like you did, or start with the open wheel?
Myself, I'd start with the enduro. Try a season of that. It's only 5 or 6 races. Get you behind the wheel. You get to understand the car a little bit, what it's going to do going through the turns. You get the feel for the bumps, type of deal. The guy's nudging you from behind. Learn how to control the car when you do get hit and stuff like that. So that's the background I come from.
And I think he's right. Not only the on-track stuff, but the off-track stuff. Setup equipment. With an enduro car, you don't need all the scales and tire parameters and all the gauges that go with it. And it gives you time to build that stuff up. Mm-hmm. And then after 2 or 3 years, you've got the stuff that you need in your garage to go to the next level, and then it'll be more enjoyable for you.
Okay, so how much different is it jumping, from your normal family car, like you got your little, your Toyota Echo or whatever, and then you're going to jump into a race car? How much of a transition is that? Is it really, really different? Did you find?
I didn't find it all that different myself. The biggest challenge is being able or knowing how close you can get to the guy in front of you without giving him that tap to get him out of the way or something like that.
So having good perception
just driving, big time. Just learning how close you can get to that guy without messing him up too bad.
See, and I don't worry about that.
No, of course you don't. How many hours have we spent in your garage repairing body damage? Come on now.
Christina, there was many nights your dad spent a bunch of hours down my garage trying to straighten out my mistakes.
Yeah, he's still doing it for the Duncans. So
how did you guys get started? Were you guys were your fathers, or were you guys grow up around the tracks? Like, what made you want to say, I'm gonna, I just want to do open wheel racing?
I'd been going to watch as a spectator. And enjoyed it, and I had an opportunity to buy an enduro car.
Yeah.
For $300, I paid for it. So I thought, for $300, I'm going to go.
Might as well give it a shot, eh?
Perfect.
And gee whiz, I had a good season.
All right. Well, we've got Rita on the line here from Fredericton. She's got a question for you guys. Hi, Rita.
Hi.
You got a question for the boys?
I do. How old do you have to be to start the series?
It's a good question.
Actually, with the AOW series, what we're saying is you have to be legally able to drive on the road.
That makes sense.
Okay. And now, how often do you race?
Typically, we run about a 10 race card throughout the season. It varies a little bit. I think last year we ended up with 7 races, but definitely no more than 10.
Okay. And is it very inexpensive to race the series?
Typically, I would say it's probably about next to the running the enduro car, it's probably the next least expensive class to get into.
Okay. Now, I've seen you guys race before, and my son, he's shown an interest. So I'll have to maybe, when do you start racing this year, in May?
Actually, right now our first race is in July, but if your son's definitely interested, he can give us a shout. My name and number is on our website. It's www.aowtour.ca.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and all
Rita.
the best to all of you.
Thanks a lot, Rita.
Thanks.
Hope to see you at the racetrack, Rita.
Oh, I'm sure you will see Rita, and you'll see a lot of other people as well. What is attendance like typically to one of these races?
Well, if you go to like the race in Antigonish, there are probably going to be about 15,000 people at that
15,000.
racetrack. And the racetrack in Gary, Speedway 660, on their speed weekend, you'll see 10 or 15,000 people there.
So that's a pretty good sized crowd. It must be pretty, like, feel good for you guys to race in front of like 15,000.
In front of a crowd like that?
In front of 15,000 when you get going, it must just be crazy, eh?
Definitely gets the adrenaline running, that's for sure.
It's definitely a rush when you jump out of the vehicle in Victory Lane and you see everybody, you know, clapping and cheering for you. It's definitely some encouragement for the next time.
Yeah, it's kind of a big, it's motorsports in New Brunswick is fairly big. I don't know, we don't get out enough, I guess. But the events are well attended.
Okay, well
See,
that's...
the thing here is in southern New Brunswick, we don't really have a track, and so there's not anything down here in southern New Brunswick. What would be the closest one in New Brunswick to here would be...
Speedway 660 up in Gary.
In Gary.
Probably about an hour away.
An hour, so yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt you guys for just a second. We have David Connell on the line from St. John. Hi, David.
Christina, how you making out?
Fabulous. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just calling in to say hello and welcome to Too Close to Call.
Oh, thank you.
I'm taping the show, so I'm going to see it later. And I hear that you had some of my picks up tonight.
Yeah, a little crazy that we got going on here.
Yeah, the boys are playing good, and hopefully they can keep it going. And I'm off to Bathurst next week, so everybody can take a look at the website for the game picks from up there. And for the next round, I don't think I'm going to make it to Northern Quebec, but you never know.
Yeah, well, we will definitely be making it into Northern Quebec. Maybe we can carpool, David.
Yeah, sure. They cut down on the cost,
It's
right?
getting warmer up there, Dave, eh, in Quebec now.
Yeah, I know. Probably warmer than where it is right now. I've got 4 feet of snow in the front yard.
Yeah.
So I hear you got Byron Bartlett on the panel there.
Yes, I do.
Do you know that Byron Bartlett played in 1988 the Kennebec Cases Roller Hockey League and won a championship that very first year?
Well, that is some interesting news.
He had 55 goals in 16 games.
Wow.
Byron, you remember those days?
I remember those were the days. I can barely remember them, Dave.
Yeah, well, I played a long time, Byron, and I never won a championship. I was kind of distraught.
That's amazing because he's a nice hockey player. And he was a good one.
And you got Tyler there. I threw him in the box a few times in my lifetime, too.
Yeah, Dave, when I grew up minor hockey, Dave was one of the senior officials in KV minor hockey, so I've seen my days of Dave Connell back in the day as a young guy.
Was
Did you
the
have good things to say about me, Tyler, or what?
What's that?
Did you have good things to say about me?
Only good things, Dave.
Attaboy.
I saw you at the banquet there for the Sea Dogs, buddy. The pictures
Well, how
look
come you didn't
good.
come up to me?
The pictures look good, man.
Thank you.
And if you want to see those pictures, is it davidconnell.ca? Is that right, David?
That is correct.
All
yes.
right, perfect. Well, he's got pictures of everything up there, all the games and all the special events, so definitely check it out, David. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure, no problem. Just going to leave you with a little bit of a tidbit if you want to talk about it. Refereeing in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. I don't know, I was shaking my head a couple times this weekend, so I'll leave it with you, and all the best of luck there, guys, and have a good one.
Thanks a lot, David.
Okay, take care.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave, he must have been talking about a lot of the penalty calls, because Friday's game was on TV, so if people didn't get to make it out, they would have got to see the game on TV, and the Sea Dogs had a lot of power plays. I found a lot of the calls were going for the Sea Dogs, like a lot of the calls were pro Sea Dogs, like a kid from Bathurst dove to knock a pass down from the blue line, and his forward momentum took him into the other team's goalie. I mean, he made one really nice play to dive and knock it down, got up on his knees from his belly and got a shot off on goal, but his momentum from his knees took him into the goalie, so he kind of bumped the goalie a little bit, and they gave him a penalty for goaltender interference.
Really?
But I mean, that his forward momentum just took him in, and I can relate to what Dave's saying, because, I do the play-by-play for the Sea Dogs with Tim Roselle, and I hear a lot of the fans in the background giving it to the refs.
So a lot of people don't realize the refs aren't homers either. I mean, they come from all over. I mean, Jeff Hopkins going up to Cape Breton to do the lines up there. I mean,
some of these guys are coming in here from Quebec. Yeah.
this is true. And I mean, so you can't say that they're gearing the game towards the home team, because they're not. They're impartial. I mean, say what you want in a minor hockey league. I mean, some refs probably.
Oh, no doubt, no
But when
doubt.
it comes to the big leagues, like the Q, I mean,
totally.
You've got the out-of-towners there. They don't care one way or the other who's going to win this game. They're not fans. They're not rooting
Just
for.
as long as the refs keep it